Hey everybody, this is Charlie Musselwhite, and you're listening to Athena After Dark. I ain't lying. Thank you, baby.
Thank you, baby. Charlie Musselwhite. I love that man. I'm so excited. I'm going to see him in a few weeks. Um, hey, everybody. Welcome to Athena After Dark. I'm so glad you made it here on a Monday night. We have the bright lights on today. I think that's torment because thanks to our guest this evening, Athena's not feeling up to par. We did a taste tester. So Crazy Chuck, Moonshiner, Crazy Chuck's Moonshine, Purple Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. So just so you guys know, a little slow on the roll there. Um, Let me make sure I silent my phone too so I don't make you guys crazy. I hope you had a great week. I know I sure had a great week. It was eventful. It was challenging. I had to find my 5 good things many times, although I do that every day, but I had to find them. I didn't just have them. So we know what that's like. But everybody goes through it. So I hope any of you who are having the best time, the worst time, the in between time, you had 5 good things. I want to shout out to everybody. Uh, Chris and Renee, Miss Sammy, she had her graduation. Everybody out there, the kids are growing like weeds. The grandkids are here. It's kind of neat to be Mimi. So I got to do that this weekend. And I'm working on a panhead, so that's always fun. I have like, I don't know, 3 out of 10 fingernails left, but that's what keeps us going. All right, we're going to go ahead and go through the roll here. I left out the Ask Athena because we have tonight's guest who has great stories. We're going to talk about motorcycles, mayhem, and more, some purple Jesus. So I wanted to make sure that we had time for that. Okay, let's start out with, there you go, our 5 good things. Let's see if I can split that in half. Okay. 5 good things. Be kind to yourself and others. It matters. We talk about that all the time, right? Share a smile with a stranger, especially when you ride a motorcycle. You can change anybody's life. Help someone who needs it, even if you need help. That's usually what happens is you help someone, and when you need help, it comes back to you. Find joy in one small thing every day. Some days it's really hard to do, but you have to do it. And then you got to remember to spread your sunshine even on the rainy days. All right. We have upcoming events. I'm pushing the buttons here. So let's see how good we do. Thing one, I miss you. I'm sorry I didn't text you back, Greg. He moved to Texas. He was my button pusher here in between when Don couldn't make it. Don can't make it. So, well, here I am pushing buttons. Okay. And you guys saw the video that I made in the beginning, the intro. Just saying, I made that. I still can't get the audio to work, but it does say let's kickstart this baby and get it rolling. And Mailman and Mailbox, Miss Cheryl and Mr. Kevin Mailman O'Brien and Miss Mailbox Cheryl O'Brien. That's the picture of them at the end with the hearts. I love it. Okay, upcoming events. Let's go through this real quick. I will have a few more next week, like Sons of Speed and stuff like that. So that's coming up the end of May, along with the Unintentional Pilgrimage right after TMMR. So let's go through it. Miss Ellie Rains. Okay, so you can't get tickets to this event anymore, but MidwestWomenRiders.com. You have to go. It's International Female Ride Day. It's one of the largest ladies' ride. It's incredible. Miss Ellie Rains and her team, they do a fantastic job. Mama Ditch, I love you. TMMR. Okay, this is another one. We'll be there. My son and I, Axel, my son, we're going to ride. It's going to be our first long distance ride on motorcycles. He's all grown up now. Okay, and they got great bands. There's so much room. They have glamping, camping, RV spaces. The bands are great. Wade Jennings usually plays. There's so many good ones. So yeah, if you get a chance, they have mini bike races, all kinds of stuff. Have to definitely check it out. V Twin Visionary will be there. Um, Harley Davidson is there. It's the Bling Cycle Moto Invitational and so much more. So you guys check it out, motorcyclesandmusic.com. And then, okay, this one. I was at this show in February in Las Vegas. It is one of the most incredible shows I have ever been to. So this is the save the date for it. It's called the One Moto Show. So it's the one motorcycle show. And it is fabulous. That's if you're out in Portland, Oregon area, May 2nd through 4th, you have to go. It is that show was phenomenal. I'm picky about my motorcycles. They were so much. So, and also May 9th through 18th, my favorite, the Beaver Bar, but it is Myrtle Beach Spring Rally. So that's what's coming up. Let's get back to the camera here. Okay. So we did that. Um, I did want to shout out to a few other people. I have a couple friends who are having some health issues. Robert, I'm sending some love to you. I hope that everything's going good up there. Everyone else, you know who you are. You're in my prayers and thoughts. And I hope that everybody else is doing the best that they can. All right, so we're going to give a shout out to Grease and Gears TV. I tell you guys all the time, it's like the Netflix of motorcycling. So greaseandgearstv.com. You have to check it out. It's Miss Heather and Sir Chris over at Cycle Source Magazine. And then we have BikerNet, Bandit, and anybody who knows me knows that I can't talk when I get around Bandit because, well, yeah, wrote for Easy Riders, and he's like, I've always had a super crush on him, so I can't even get him on the show because I'm afraid that I won't be able to talk. Anyways, anything you want to know, he has the best fiction. It's a motorcycle magazine, and there's everything is owned by bikers. So it's choppers, performance parts, technology, gear, racing, adventures, events, and he does fight to ride free. And some of the fiction, all of the fiction actually is phenomenal. And then, okay, we're going to shout out to our friends and our sponsors. So everybody here has participated in some way in this show, and I want to make sure they get a shout out. And there's a few more that I'm going to be adding soon. So let's shout out Miss Maggie South Country Inn, Biker Bells, Miss Tony and Woody at the Buffalo Chip, Miss Marilyn Stemp, and all the crew there. Tobacco Road, Harley Davidson, and Shiny Side Up Painting, Miss Ashley and Sir Mark, Teddy Morse, Harley Davidson. Teddy is so super cool. We have Twisted Tea, Billy, and Tank. Palm Beach, Harley Davidson, Farm Life Creamery. If you haven't had any, go to my Facebook page. You'll see a video. You got to have it. We order it all the time. We're so lucky. Baker Drivetrain, Open Road Radio, Miss Gina Wood. She's on the hour before us. Check her out. Willie's Tropical Tattoo. If you're in Daytona, you need to go and get a tattoo there. It doesn't matter what time of year. Chicago Motorcycle Supply, stuff for your vintage bikes. Miss Lori and Tom, fabulous people. S&S Performance. That's our history there. I can only say so much. I'm just glad that they're bringing it back, and I'd love to get Sir Charlie and also Mr. Kelly on the show. That would be fabulous. Paco, we love you. Cycle Source Magazine, Rogue at Biker Lives Matter. Talk about a real freedom fighter. And then, of course, we have BikerNet, and then we have Viking Bags. They also do our giveaways for us. So Northern Tool will give us stuff sometimes too, and we're going to add to it. So see if I can find the camera button. Hey, I did it. Yeah, a little slow on the draw tonight. So fabulous. Tonight we have an absolutely awesome guest. For those of you who have met him before, Moonshiner Crazy Chuck, he is a rider. He's a biker. Let's just say that. He's a biker. Long-time biker. Like, biker. He's a racer. So he rides, he races, and then he's also an entrepreneur or as I would say, moonshine extraordinaire. So we have this. I have my autograph bottle. So I went to Total Wine, which is where you can get this. It is Purple Jesus, right? It's Purple Jesus Moonshine, and Crazy Chuck's pictures on there. Can I just tell you, I went and got some so that we could have some for the show tonight, and then decided everybody that was at the house if we could just taste a little bit and see how it was. And, there were a bunch of us, and then somebody else. I think somebody boosted the last part of the bottle, but I was hurting this morning, so I think I'm still hurting. So our guest tonight, Moonshiner Crazy Chuck. I enjoy his company. We had fun in Daytona. I enjoyed the races. He actually is the the defending champion. So he'll be at the races for the Sons of Speed at the end of May in Tennessee, along with Miss Jenny Bass and Miss Thelma and the rest of the crew, Shelly Rossmeyer, so many people, Detroit Randy. If you haven't gone, it's good. All right. So if you guys are ready, I'm going to show you the pictures first. You know how we do it. Okay. Let's go ahead. Here he is. You see on the side of that bike says Deliverance, right? I laughed so hard. I can hear the banjos playing. That's how funny it is. Okay. And he has monuments. Look, he's all carved out in wood. I mean, look at the resemblance. It's fabulous. When I tell you, he's his own character, and I love it. He's just outgoing and funny and smart, and definitely there it is. That's the purple Jesus. So if you're looking for it in the stores, that's exactly what it looks like. And ooh, ow. Okay, so this is us at Willie's. So I'm holding up the bottle, and then thank you, Jesus, after you have some, because it's that good. Okay. All right. There's his profile picture in the black and white. I'm gonna say, with numbers missing. It's t-shirt. So if you see them around, tell you what, he's memorialized all kinds of ways. Here we go. So he races Sons of Speed bike. Like I said, he's defending champion for the Legends class. There's his shirt. There's a jacket. He's definitely famous. There's a picture of him. And then we have the jacket, Giuseppe's Steel City. So let me just go here to the last one, and we'll talk about that for a minute. So there it is. You can find him at Facebook and Instagram at Moonshiner Crazy Chuck. There he is with the still and the shotgun garden still. I love it. That was a great photo. Okay. So if you guys go to Daytona, when you go to Daytona, again, you need to go to Willie's and get a tattoo. That's just the definite. The crew there, some of the best there, especially during rallies and events, if you can get in. You also have to go to Giuseppe's. I was there last year at Bike Week, and we had pizza, and it was really good. And I was like, okay, Biketoberfest, I missed it. And for Bike Week, we ate a lot of Giuseppe's. They have these things called the Steel City wings. There is nothing in the world like it. My mouth is salivating. Like, I'm hurting. I didn't want to eat all day. I could sit down to, like, I don't know, 50 of those wings, and I eat 5 usually when I order some. That's how good they are. They're addictive. So when you're there, you got to go to Giuseppe's, and it is really good. And he rocks the Giuseppe's jacket while he's racing. So I think that's really cool. So we like the support, and they ride and they support all kinds of things going on in the community. So we definitely want to do that. Okay, now if I can find the camera button over here, bear with me. I love you all so much. We'll get him in here. Okay, so you guys ready? We'll bring in Moonshiner Crazy Chuck. Hey there, Hot Rod. How are you today?
Good. Excuse
Nice.
me, I was rolling a joint.
I love it. Fabulous. That's fabulous. Getting ready.
I hear you.
How have you been?
Been doing pretty good. I had a great week so far. Well, it's only Monday, but if you count the weekend, whenever you start your week,
That's right.
it's been doing good with it. And I got some. I'm building a.
Somebody's calling him.
No. It just times out the screen every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm building my own toy hauler, and it's going to be a hillbilly toy hauler, and it's top secret right now because it might not make it out of the expansion stages. We'll see. We'll see.
That's fabulous. Listen, creating is the best part. Sometimes it ends up being art in the yard, but it doesn't matter. It's awesome.
Right.
That is fabulous. So I was telling everybody that we hung out in Daytona. We swapped hats for a while. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I was telling about Giuseppe's, and you have the jacket, obviously, that you ride in your racing. They're your sponsor, Giuseppe's.
No, I actually sponsor them.
I love it.
Yeah, and that's where my wooden statue is inside Giuseppe's Pizza on the outside. And we've been friends for years, and they take care of me when I get down there. They have, man, keeps going out. And so I just thought if I could do something nice for them, it might come back to you. Like, just like your thing says, do good things.
That's right. And the food there is phenomenal. I mean, we ate Giuseppe's at least once every day during bike week, and there's something on the menu for every different day. You don't have to eat the same thing twice.
Oh, yeah.
It's just phenomenal. And they do so much in the community too. So that's
Right.
super cool. That is very good. So what have you been up to? Like, you're building your toy hauler. What else?
Well, I had to keep the race bike started every now and again. And I got to give a shout out to Rod Dorr. He gave me an electric starter that you roll your bike up on, and you push a pedal and it turns the back tire over, and the thing cranks up instead of kicking it. Now, I ain't old. I can still kick it. It's only a 45,
Right.
but it comes in handy when you get wore out.
Yeah. Especially after kicking all day.
Oh, yeah.
Did I lose you? That's okay.
No, you didn't lose me. Something else. What happened?
That's okay. Listen, it's not a show without technical difficulties.
Come on, Chucky. What I got to do? Maybe I hit the wrong button.
Usually it's me, and I'm a hurting puppy today, thanks to you. So, yeah, he'll sign back in, I'm sure. It's always an adventure, right? Okay, so I cut my hair. Oh, there you go. That's probably better. It's not in my face. I don't look like Cousin It for the evening. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about something really good. I got invited to a show in September, the Detroit Antique Motorcycle Show, Detroit Randy. So I'm excited about that. I really enjoyed being the commentator for the panel for Harley Davidson. And I'm really looking forward to TMMR. My son and I are having our first mother-son ride as an adult. When he was a kid, I used to tote him around on the back. I'd take him or his sister, and we'd go on trips across the state and whatnot. But, Chuck's back. I love it. Let's get him in here. There we go.
Yeah, I got to keep hitting the button. The screen goes blank after every 30 seconds or so, and I must have hit the camera or something.
I love it. We can do that all night. Don't you worry. They'll blame it on the moonshine and the pot. That's it. It'll just, since you're rolling a joint, joking as you were or not.
I can't afford marijuana.
Right. Harley,
that's why I got to drink
eggs. Right? That is too funny. So what do you got coming up?
I got Thunder Beach, Panama City down there in Florida. Okay. And I got 2 bars that are going to have my Purple Jesus down there, and I'm going to have shot girls and girls washing bikes, and it's going to be a great time down there. Okay. And I believe that's starts on April 28th and goes through May 4th, I believe.
Okay.
Somewhere in that area.
I'll look for a flyer, and I'll post that next week too. Or if you want to send me one, I'll be more than glad to put it up here.
Okay.
Very good. And then you're racing Sons of Speed.
Yeah, that's Memorial Day weekend.
And that's you're the defending champion.
The defending Legends champion, yeah. And that was I tell you, that was a grace of God thing. I was scared, New Smyrna Speedway is a big half mile, and my guy on the show, Josh Owens, he wrecked there a couple of years ago, 2023 in the spring, and it takes a lot out of you to get back on that track. And then I had an incident with Joey Orsini, and he broke his back in 5 places. So it really didn't want to race anymore. And went there and just kind of went around the track a little bit just to make a showing. But when I got to 10 Jam, I meet Pastor Jim, and we got to talking about fear, and fear is the work of the devil. No matter what you say, it's the work of the devil, and God will be with you all the time. And that's all it took for me to put that in and my faith. And I swear I felt like a 21-year-old boy was riding that motorcycle. And I just was going around just passing everybody and started in last place both times. and it was really a good day for me. It was great.
I enjoyed watching you race. I really did.
Yeah.
Especially, I know the girls give you a run for your money, that's for sure.
Oh, them girls are tough. Thelma and Jenny Bass, they're in my class there, and they're always giving me a hard time and stuff, you know. So, but
Yeah.
it's all in the fun of competition, and I'm building another race bike, and I'm going to put a female on it. I like females in the sport, you know,
Nice.
and so I'm looking for a badass Harley rider to maybe take it around the track a little bit.
If you need a pit crew person, let me know.
Oh, I need a new pit crew, Pearson.
Listen, I
Billy and
love the
Andy,
race.
they steal all my girls. Amy, Barbie the Welder, Nicole Templeton, and Mary Spearing. He stole them all and made them race. What do you call it? Scores.
Scores, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah,
that's okay.
we'll have to talk about that for sure. I'm always in on that. And the camaraderie is just what's amazing being on the track
Oh
and seeing
yes.
it's incredible. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's celebrating each other. That's what I love about
Right.
it. You know what I mean? No
Right.
matter how many tickets are sold, how many fans are in the stands, nobody, not that they don't appreciate their fans, but at the time of doing it, nobody even really pays a lot of attention to, whether fans are cheering or whatnot. They're all in the moment and the camaraderie that everybody cares for one another. Oh, you got to this part. Oh my God, this broke. Oh, let me run down here. I'll get that. Hold on, Will, I'll push you. That stuff is just, and everybody
It's
at the end, they're cheering in everybody else's class. They're cheering for one another. That I love that. I think that's the coolest
yeah,
part.
it's great. And you know what I did this time, Athena? I played the grumpy old biker guy. Don't bother me. Don't look at my bike. Don't come around. But just leave me alone. I got this, you know.
How's that? How's that
and they
work out
and
for
they
you?
took me serious. They took me serious, and I'm like, what the hell? Don't do that no more.
I was joking, right? I was joking. I was kidding. You guys should know me by now, right?
Yeah, they should know me by now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too funny. That's absolutely too funny. So, and then we talked about you had some shout outs you wanted to give out there too.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, mainly the girls. I gave them Amy and Mary Spearing and Barbara the Welder and Nicole Templeton. And there's a guy on here. He's watching Rob Doer, and like I said, I gave him a holler out. And there's Tommy Syndergaard. He's out there watching. And we got another girl, Kathy Henson. She's watching, and a whole bunch of girls and a bunch of guys watching for me. So I can't think of all their names now, but when I see them on the list here, I'll holler out.
yeah,
And
we
Dennis,
got
there's
we
a
got
Dennis. Dennis is watching too.
yeah, I was gonna say Dennis Stauber's watching, and
Yeah.
Tommy and Rob and Miss Boots is watching. That means Rubel hopefully is with her. Kathy Henson. Can I just tell you, Amy and Barbie? I love Barbie the Welder, but those ladies, I met Amy and Mary. It it was just crazy. They're such amazing women, just amazing women. I enjoyed. They were a highlight of my Daytona for sure. I have to
They're
say
good.
that.
Yeah. Another girl who was in my pitch, Teresa Levitt, just signed in, and she said, "Hey."
All
So I'll say,
right,
"Hey
hey,
back,
Miss
Teresa."
Teresa. How are you? That's
Yeah.
fabulous. So, we were going to talk a little bit about what was going on in North Carolina because that's where you are.
Okay. So I missed the October race, and it was right. I believe it was right before the hurricane, or right after. I think it was right before the hurricane. I missed that race, but we got devastated, and I mean devastation beyond godly belief. It's the rain came down. I don't know how many inches. I'm going to say 30 some inches in less than 24 hours, and it flooded our lake. It breached the dam, and it took a whole township out called Chimney Rock, which is only about 12 miles from me. And they're still recovering. The roads ain't open yet, and the rivers and stuff. You could see car parts and trees. You could see house roofs. It's a complete mess, Athena, and we're battling through it. And I guess the funding has come through because I see lots and lots of dump trucks and big equipment going down to the lake every day. And then we turned around, and a couple weeks ago we got hit by wildfires, and it was dry and hot. And thank the good Lord, he made it rain for 2 or 3 days and put them out. But they burned like 5,500 acres on the top of the mountain. So
Man.
imagine this: the fire starts on the mountain and it goes to the top, and the high winds blow the embers, and they go to another top mountain
Right.
tops. And that's what started the most wildfires.
Right, and everything in between burned too.
Yeah, but
Starts-
luckily we didn't have many homes lost or many people's lives lost on the fire.
Good.
But the count on the flooding is they'll probably never know how many people we lost there.
Now, are people still coming in to help and help?
Oh yes,
That's
yes.
fabulous.
Oh, and that's what I want to bring up. Yeah. So you don't think about it, but when you're out of internet, you're out of water, you got maybe a generator if you're lucky enough to have one to keep your refrigerator going and stuff, and you're disconnected from the world. And where I live, all the bridges were inoperable, so you couldn't go nowhere, and you couldn't get out, and it just was thing. But then on the third or fourth day, the churches started getting together and bringing people water, having places to take a hot shower, and a real place to go get a hot meal. And it doesn't seem like much of everyday life, but man, it was like a blessing come true. And to see that, and all the while we was also having the election time, so everybody came together. Nobody talked politics. Everybody was on the same page. Just everybody helped one another, kind of like at the Sons of Speed, only on a community base, a real big community base.
Right. That kind of devastation is unreal. I mean, I've been in Florida my whole life, been through Andrew, been through, Wilma and things like that. Like I said, when you're disconnected, and then, once the news cycle stops reporting about it, or people stop, it seems that you're forgotten about, and
Exactly.
everybody gets back to their normal life. Is there still some place there that's taking donations or anything like that that you know of, or you can get me information because we post it? A legitimate place, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much come to the end of the line there. Everybody seems to be pretty good, all okay, and they still got people living in hotels and stuff like that. And they stepped in, and they brought the government help in, and so the local help is pretty much. It's been 6 months since it's happened, so
Right.
but the devastation and the people that lost family members in their homes and stuff,
Yeah.
that's going to take a long time to rebuild. And Chimney Rock was what they call a tourist town, and it will never be the same. I don't know what's going on down there. It may never be. And it was, for people that grew up around here and stuff, it's just going to be a memory. That's all there is to it.
Man.
So it's sad.
Yeah, that is sad. And at least hopefully, with the internet and stuff that goes on, hopefully people who have really good memories about it will get together and post some of those memories and kind of at least keep it alive like that, so people know that it was there, or whatever remnants are, what it meant to people back. How do they say it? What did our parents would say back in the day? Like, holy shit.
I can say that now.
Yeah, I know. I say it. I said something. I went to get phone service and I needed an upgraded phone. And I looked at the guy and I was like, he goes, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I want the senior plan." He's like, "What?" I said, "I want the senior plan." Like I said, it saves me like $60 a month and I get a new phone, right? Free. He's like, "Yeah, can I see your ID?" I'm like, "Gladly, here." Like, he just looked at me like I was nuts. I was like, "Listen, I don't go to restaurants and go, oh yeah, I want something off the senior menu, but damn, at the T-Mobile and the places like that,
Oh yeah.
and across the groceries, I want the senior discount on anything that applies." Right. That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's too funny. But yeah, that's some crazy stuff. But our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. And again, if there's anything anybody ever needs, you can always just let me know. I'll put out the
I'll sure do it. Yeah.
feelers for sure. We have a lot of good people in our community. That is fabulous. And then so you said Memorial Day weekend was Sons of Speed. I'll post that next week so everybody has that information. Where in
Yeah.
Tennessee is that?
Oh, that's in Nashville.
It is in Nashville.
Yeah, just outside of Nashville. Nashville International Speedway is called, I believe. International. Yeah.
Wow.
So they
And
race the big cars there, and the hooligans will be there also.
oh, nice. And
Yeah.
that's a great town. That is a fabulous town,
Oh
Nashville.
yeah, that's a rock and roll party town. It's a little even too much for me.
That's funny.
Not really.
We'll be in Memphis the week of the 20th, and that weekend, and then down to Clarksdale, Mississippi for the unintentional pilgrimage with Barry and Gypsy and the clan. It's growing quite a bit. If you have never been, you should come sometime with us. You would love it.
Yeah, it's in Holdenwall. Gina Woods just posted that up in Holdenwall, Tennessee. It's right outside of Nashville.
Right outside of Nashville.
Yeah,
that is fabulous. I love Miss Gina. She's so good. I tell everybody she's on the hour before us. Make sure you watch her.
Right.
Okay. That's too funny, Dennis. He's like, it's a school night. Like, I love it. That means he'll watch the rest tomorrow. I love that. I get a lot of that, which is fine. I don't mind. I understand that completely. So what do you say? You want to get to some questions?
Yeah, let's do some questions. I'm ready.
Well, I'm honored that you're here. I'm so excited about that. So we're gonna start out with a couple of the fun questions. So dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Big dogs, little dogs, any dogs?
Little dogs.
Little dogs? I like it. Big badass biker got some little attack dogs gonna ankle bite you until you fall over. I like it. I like it. I love it. Okay, apples or oranges?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Do you infuse stuff into moonshine ever?
That's what separates me from the old timey moonshiners. I use all fruits. I don't use no corn base or anything like that. And so Purple Jesus is actually about 7 different flavors. And it come from the PJ party juice, and it was the old hunch punch or whatever that everybody in the world had to have a drink of it sometime or another at a party, where they just mix all the grain alcohol, they mix all your fruit, and then they put the Kool-Aid in it.
Yeah, we used to call that a Wapatuli party.
There you go.
Garbage can, pour it all in there.
Right.
Yeah, whoever's left standing gets to help everybody hold their hair, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Draw markers on their face and stuff.
Yeah, paint their fingernails right on their back, kick me hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been there. I've seen it all. Yeah, like that. Those are some days before video cameras.
Yes. Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. So, hotel or camping?
Hotel now. Used to be camping, but hotel now.
Right. Something about a nice cushy bed and a hot shower.
Yeah, but it takes away from the partying. But if you got to work, I got to work most of the time I go out. I haven't been to a real just party where I could just go be myself and have fun. So yeah, I want to be able to leave and go to the hotel and get a good shower, come back refreshed the next day, right, and stir some chaos up then.
That's so cool that you still responsible, still making sure everybody's having their good time. So, and take yours when you can get it. That's super good. I like.
Well, I have fun just interacting with people. It's great to be see how the public reacts and stuff. And the main thing I learned down in Daytona this year was to be nice to everybody. Yeah. And I had this grumpy thing going on at the race, and it kind of went out into the public, and I got checked by Mike A1 Cycles, the drag racer.
Mike, and I love that man.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, and he checked me, and from that day forward, I haven't did anything mean in a long time. And it wasn't really mean. I just wasn't feeling it,
Right. Right.
Sometimes you get so much stuff on your mind in 100 different directions. It's hard to be nice all the time especially if you're a mean old grumpy biker like me.
That's so good. I like that. And Michael Beland is a treasure. He is a treasure to all of us. That man is an incredible human being. I adore him and his girl. They're just fabulous people.
Right. He was my very first crew chief at Sons of Speed.
I like that.
Michael Beland, yeah.
Yep. That's good there. That is good stuff. That's good chi right there for sure.
That's right.
All right, next question is breaking or making?
Making.
Okay, like that. And then I don't know. I don't know how to even ask that question, but sunshine or moonshine, I can only assume it's moonshine.
Yeah, it's better than Soulshine.
There you go. I
Damn
like
sure
that.
better than Rain.
I love it. Allman Brothers. That's good. That's Craig Allman. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good. So, if you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, one song for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Wild Horses Couldn't Drag Me Away by the Rolling Stones.
Okay. I like that.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. That is a
Yeah,
good one. Best sandwich.
BLT.
Oh, yes. I leave off the L. I tell everybody I have an Elvis sandwich. It's just bacon, tomato, and mayo. That's it. No, no, none of that. That's awesome. So if you were a superhero, who would you be?
Superman.
Superman. Good
Superman.
answer. Flying across the racetrack like that. Uh-huh. All right. And then
Yeah, X-ray vision.
X-ray. Oh my. We're gonna go into the biker mode of that because it's not just broken parts you can see, but it's all the lady parts that you get to see too, right? That's how
Yeah,
that works.
I
That's,
think that's how that works.
that's how that works. I love it. Biker girl, I get it. I know. So
I
if you
figured
were
you would.
if you were a cocktail mixed drink, what would you be?
If I was a cocktail and a mixed drink,
Mhm.
oh, that's all right. I didn't think of that one. Let's see. I don't know. Rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke. With it with a twist of lime or just straight up?
No lime, straight up.
So have you ever had rum and Dr. Pepper?
Yeah,
Oh, that's ridiculous. There was a part of the 90s that was like a blackout for me because we used to take that, we'd make the shot glasses and we'd fill them with the 151 and the Dr.
yeah.
Pepper.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And then we'd blow 151 all over it, light it on fire, the whole tower would light up. Oh my God. I singed my eyebrows once, but I was hammered. It was, yeah. Oh boy, howdy.
Well, 151, boy, I learned my lesson on that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
It'll definitely remind you all about the real world. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
Tell Becky I said a Long Island iced tea. I was thinking about that since there's so many alcohols involved in it.
So many, quite the mixture, just like you. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. That is too funny. All right, so let's get into some real questions.
Okay.
How'd you get into motorcycles?
How did I get into motorcycles? I was born on a motorcycle. I don't know. I don't know. It was something, I guess because my dad had an old panhead when I was young.
Okay.
And he'd take us for rides, and stuff like that. And he was always mechanicking, and he had, the crew come over and they had their bikes, and, it was like being a hang around,
You were born into it. Yes.
kind of was born into it. But they weren't, in the 60s, they, I don't know, they did choppers, but it wasn't like long choppers. They just they took all the stuff off of they called them garbage trucks, and then they just stripped them down,
Right.
and just had,
on the drag strip. Right.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah, fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I went through my Hondas, and I got into my dirt bikes for a little while, but I really didn't like dirt bikes. For some reason, in the 70s, the dirt bikes were coming on, and I had a 400 Husqvarna,
Okay.
and that motherfucker was badass.
Yeah.
And I said, screw this, I'm getting a street bike, out in the woods. Them trees don't move or nothing,
No. Yeah,
you
you
got it
can't.
done.
How old
So
were you when you started riding on the road?
I was probably about 14. I
Okay.
had a I had a 64 Cushman scooter, and I had a 58, and it was a Cushman Eagle, had the electric start on it. It had a big back seat on it so I could ride the kids around the neighborhood. So it was fun. I still got the motors. I ain't got none of the bikes though, but one of these days I'd like to put my Cushman back together again because it was kickstart. It was a kickstart motor,
So cool. You still have it?
I still got the motors. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. We'll have to score you up some parts. That would be fabulous to restore that.
Yes, they had a motors. I started one a couple of years ago. That the motors still both run,
That's
and I
fabulous.
held the transmission and I misplaced it, and I don't know what it's somewhere, but I don't
It's
know
somewhere,
where.
right? So how
Yeah.
did you get into racing?
With Josh Owens, he on the TV show, so the Moonshine and the Josh took me on because we wanted a segment on bikers and moonshine, and that's what the TV show part I was about. And I had a sidecar. I had a sidecar that we put the moonshine in and made runs with and stuff like that. And then Josh raced, and then I went down there. As soon as I seen it, I says, "I've got to do this. I've
Gotta
got
do
to do it." And my friend Rob Dorgan, he helped me find a bike, and Bruce Cycles actually built the bike. It's a 5-time Ohio mile record holder, and it's a great bike, Deliverance, and it's not about hearing banjo music. It's about being
it.
delivered from evil.
I hear I hear the banjos playing. I saw that and I was like, moonshine, still. Yeah,
Delivery.
I can. All we're missing is the whitewater raft, and we need Beaner to ride by on a whitewater raft in my little
Yeah,
vision and play
so
the
picture this: people go by and they look at Deliverance and they take a look at me, and I have to holler at them to stop and to talk to them. No, I'm not gonna make you squeal like a pig. Come on in.
right, right. That gives away our age too, though. You know,
Yes, it does.
so that's funny.
I'm,
Burt Reynolds, I love that.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
like Elvis to me. I loved him. He was like I think
Oh,
every
he
I saw
was.
every movie he ever made. That was definite. Um, yeah, so then you started racing with him, and like you said, you were talking about that uh being difficult, after seeing your friends in accidents and stuff like
Well,
that.
Josh Rick, the first day I went out there, raced with him. you know,
Right.
he
Now,
was in practice, so I was kind of. I never really pushed the race button a lot. I get out there and do my thing and do the best I can. But
right,
it wasn't like until when I find out about just put it in God's hands and do what you do best.
right.
And my girlfriend said to me before I left, I said, "I'm going to race." She said, "Well, why don't you go win for once in a while? I've been doing this since 2017." And I'm like, "What, you got an insurance policy on me or what?"
It's so funny you say that. My son will tell me, he's like, "Mom, I'm going fishing." I'm like, "Well, do you want to eat dinner? Is that the purpose?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "So why don't you go catching?" And he's just like, "You're a smart ass." You know what I mean? I'm like, "But really, fishing is just like you're sitting there hoping you're gonna get something. Maybe if you go catching with the intent to catch. So it's to change the mind perspective. So your girlfriend's really smart. That's super cool. I hope
Yeah,
you meet her one day. That's neat. That's
yeah.
that is super cool. So, okay, our next question would be, who would you consider your motorcycle hero?
Right now it's Billy Lane.
Okay.
Yeah, but before that, it would have to be. Oh, damn, I just had it on the end of my tongue. The guy Steve McQueen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the
That's
badass.
Yeah, Steve McQueen was definitely the shiznizzle. That man,
Yeah,
there was no question about his intention in anything he ever did, especially when he was on his motorcycle.
right, right. I've been reading stories about how he raced and stuff, and it's unreal. Like he was out in the lead, and his bike broke, and the next driver that came by, he knocked him off his bike and took his bike and won the race.
Yep, yep, I've
That's
heard those stories.
intense.
Yep, that's the real, like, I gotta do this. And well, and Billy too. I mean, Billy's I've known Billy a long time. His family, they're all good people.
Well, he's brought the nostalgic back, and he's brought the people to do it with, and it's really good to keep the heritage alive. Because a lot of people don't know a lot of stuff past Shovelhead, and it's really neat to be part of it. And for him to have a dream like that to make it come true, I got to give my hats off to him.
Yeah.
Plus,
And
always
all the
like his
people that
bills.
helped them. There's a lot of people that helped make that dream come true, and they all did a really, really good job for sure. Especially to see, I have a picture I posted a couple weeks ago, and it was a picture of Mr. Davis, Roadside Marty's dad, and
Right.
Cash Lane. And it's like, there's the history of our motorcycle world, and there's the future of it, all in one picture, sitting next to each other at the Sons of Speed race, just sitting there. And I said to Cash, I said, "Do you know who this is?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "You know Roadside Marty?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "That's his dad, Mr. Davis." And he was like, "Really?" And then all of a sudden he started talking. They started talking about that. And it was so cool to watch that because, again, he's helping form his future because his dad is, Warren Lane and Uncle Billy and whatnot,
Right.
the people he's around. But Mr. Davis has been 45. I mean, he's been doing it since wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although he runs around like he's, 45. He's not, I don't care. He's always got all the hot girls too. He's got that bench at Willie's, and it's like we all take turns just going to sit with him and talk to him. How you doing? And he is like he's like the most honored dignitary at the Willie's show. It's like probably anywhere he goes. Actually, it's pretty funny. That is super cool. So, how did Purple Jesus get its start? How did it come to life?
Well, yeah, I was on a TV show, but that didn't have a whole lot to do with it. And being up in the high mountains, the high elevations of like Grandfather's Mountain and stuff like that, down here we just call it PJ, and party juice, And I never knew until went up high on the mountains and they called it Purple Jesus. I said, well, that's really cool. And then, making it like the Hunch Punch and everything like that, I said, well, everybody could relate to that. And if I could make this a drinkable, marketable drink, I believe that if anybody tastes it, that it would take over really good. And so got a hold of a distillery and gave them my idea, and we went and we put it together, and it was number one in North Carolina for 2 years, and then they just decided to quit paying me. So I had to go to Florida and try to start over again. And it's kind of a little bit harder when you live in North Carolina and you got to go to Florida to push your product,
Right.
So, and then up here, it's a controlled state. You send your product to Raleigh and they put it in the ABC stores. Down there, it's a 3-tier state, and you got to rely on a distributor to get your stuff into the stores. So the distributors don't want to work that hard, and I don't understand why, because when they get paid, I get paid,
Right.
And so it's something. And Giuseppe's helped me with that, and it's a struggle, but it's still going. It's part of my life and part of everything. But on that note, I want to go back. I build choppers. I used to build choppers until I got on this Moonshine show. So I'm going to go back. My nickname back when it was Chopper Chuck, long time ago. That before Jesse James. So I got this one bike that was sitting for 17 years, and just before I got on the show, I tore it apart, and it still tore apart, and I want to put it back together. And I got a shovel head chopper and 2 or 3 different Sportsters, and my shop out there has been sitting idle for about 5 years, and it's time. It's time.
Time to kickstart that baby and get it back going, right?
Time to get it.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, and I'm a motorcycle parts hoarder, and I've got every chopper part that you need to make 3 bikes.
I love it. I'm a shovelhead girl. That's my jam.
Yeah.
The dream is to one day own a knucklehead, but
I hear you.
we'll get there.
I hear you.
Yeah, for sure. So
I'll put you on a Cushman.
what's that?
I could put you on a Cushman.
On a Cushman, right? Listen, yeah, I'm picky about what I ride too. That's funny. But I'd give a kickstart Cushman an antique. I'd give that a spin for sure, without a doubt. It's like a minivan, though. You don't really want your friends seeing you drive it.
But it's fun.
It is. Yeah. So, what would you say your biggest challenge in motorcycling has ever been?
The biggest challenge? Well, it's probably was getting back on the track after the big wrecks in March of 2023 was a big challenge, and I didn't want to. My bike didn't even want to start, so it was telling me, "Hey, maybe you better sit this one out, Chuck." And but I overcame it with the good Lord, and like I said, Pastor Jim talking to me, and just things just fall in place. And what you got to do in this world, Athena, is no matter what you want, you think it in your head, and it will come true if you just keep working on it. Everything will fall in place, believe it or not. I mean, I didn't never know I was going to be on TV as a moonshiner or anything, and I started watching the show, and I was hanging around with Josh for years, so he knew me, and the opportunity came, and it's like hitting the lottery, and you got to take it and make whatever you want out of life. That's what you got to do. If your opportunity knocks or whatever, go for it. What's the worst you could do? Fall down. You got to get back up and go again.
Yeah, and it's not whether or not you fall down. It's what you do with yourself after you get back up. That's what matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine, Rhett Rotten, he says just dust yourself off and climb back on and do it again. And he rides the wall of death.
I have the utmost respect to him in his wall, and then Charlie Ransom and all these
Charlie
guys
Ransom,
their
yeah.
wall. Like that's the epitome of what Pastor Jim was telling you, about fear. That they don't have it. They don't, and if they do, they don't let it get to them.
Right.
In that mindset.
Right. So yeah, that was one of the biggest things. What else you got for me? What other kind of questions you got going on there?
What's your favorite motorcycle?
I don't know. 1972 Shovelhead Super Glide.
I love it.
Is that the American flag one, or is that a 70, 71?
71 or 72?
Yeah, 71, 72. Yeah. With the I think they called it a
red, white, and blue.
The duck fender. No, the straight fender in the back.
Right.
Yeah. I can't remember, but that's one of my favorite bikes. I always love to look at that.
Like a boat tail fender.
A boat tail, yeah.
I actually have a picture of that on top of my toolbox. It's all the way over there. I'm not going to run and get it, but I'm going to send it to you if you love it. It's pristine, this picture. You will love it. What's the best route you've ever ridden?
Well, it's right around here, and it's called Hogback Mountain, and it ain't but about 10 miles from here. But if you think the Dragon is tough, you go on top of Hogback. You'll be glad when you reach the top, and when you get up there, then you got to worry about coming back down and make sure your brakes are good.
That's always it. You get to the top of something, and you're like, "Oh shit, I got to get back down now." That's it. Hogback Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Tryon, North Carolina.
Okay, you guys.
It's 8 miles straight up. So a lot of switchbacks and everything like that.
You people who love the Dragon, that's your next challenge. Should you choose to accept it?
Yes.
So, what's your favorite event or rally?
Daytona.
Always
been, yeah. I got a little bummed out there at Sturgis, but I was 61 when I went out there, so it was 2017. So things had changed, and I didn't change. I was expecting the hippies and the passing the joints and the whole 9 yards, but it was a whole different show.
Yeah, whole different show. It's changed over the decades for sure. In the 90s, it was the Buffalo Chip was a giant orgy. Now it's family oriented. They have big concerts.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So the most fun you've ever had on the motorcycle?
The most fun I ever had on a motorcycle. I don't know what we could put on the air.
Sure. Whatever you're willing to say.
Well, what you do is you take your chopper and you find a forked tree like that, and you put your front wheel on it, and then you get your girl sitting in front of you on a tank, and you just sit there and you just keep revving the engine.
I like
until
that
the
one.
vibration takes over.
That's real good. That's good old-fashioned biker shit too. That is no doubt. So yeah, I like that one. I think you get the award for the best one so far. That has to be it. Second gear, it's like, yeah. I'm not going there. I'm just gonna
Yeah, don't say that.
Move on. So, tell us your craziest. Tell us your craziest roadside breakdown memory, whether it was you, somebody else, a breakdown memory on the side of the road.
breakdowns are something that happen to me a lot. When you ride a chopper, and you probably know this a lot, it don't matter what Loctite you put on it or whatever, it's going to vibrate off sooner or later if you're riding hard, you know. So being on the side of the road, one time on my chopper coming home from a Cherokee motorcycle rally, and this was probably in 1996, I want to say, I was stuck on the side of the road, and there had to be 100, I don't know how many people, let's just say 50,000 people.
Right.
And I didn't get, nobody would stop to help me.
Really?
No. And I had to walk about a mile to a gas station to use the phone to call my damn hippie buddy. And he said it'll take me about an hour to get sober. And it's about a 2-hour ride. Okay, well, just come get me before dark, you know?
Right. Show up. I need you, bro.
Yeah. And a hippie girl stopped by with her grandpa, and they had an old van, and we was trying to load that big 10-foot chopper in her van. And it was like a Volkswagen van. It wasn't hardly enough room for it. I had to loosen the handlebars and bend them down. And here comes my buddy pulling up, and he goes, "What the hell do you think you're doing? I come all the way out here to pick you up." I said, you know, gotta survival of the fittest. I didn't know if you got drunk still or what, you know. So we got home, and don't you know, the bike was on the trailer, and I said, let's kick it over for shits and fucking giggles, and the motherfucker started right up. Yeah, but what I found was the plug wires, they were faulty, and they were shorting out against the frame or the heads or whatever, so it wasn't letting the full spark go through. So you get and nothing, you know.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was a rough time, but we made it through it.
And that's what it is too. That's it. It's the perseverance, and that was before cell phones and all that stuff.
Right, before cell phones and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll never forget that. And he told me, he said, "I don't care what you do." He said, "You're a Harley rider. You don't never push that fucking motorcycle." I'm like, what?
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's because they call you roll off. We gotta push you every time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different. The goose and the gander, right?
Yeah. He'd say shit to me like, "I don't work on Sportsters. I just work on Harleys."
Right. I grew up. Everybody always said, "Oh, did you start on a Sportster?" It's like, no, I grew up in a place where that was half a Harley. Everybody would say it was half a Harley. So when I got to have a motorcycle, I wanted a whole Harley. I didn't want a half a Harley. I wanted the whole thing, you know? So yeah, that was a thing. So I started riding a big twin, but I've ridden Sportster. My dad left me a Sportster one time. He moved away, and he's like, "You could just have that." And I don't know, like 79 Sportster. I went up the road like a half a mile, and it had that funky brake pedal. That one year where the short brake pedal and the shifter.
Yeah.
Stepped on the shifter, it broke off, and I just parked on the side of the road, and everybody's like, "You left that bike?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's a half a Harley. It's okay. Somebody will get it, bring it back, or it'll find its way home." It never did. One of my friends took it to his garage and cut it all up. I didn't much care. I had a shovel head. I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need it."
Yeah, so you can ride with us, but you ride in the back.
Yeah, right. If you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self something, what would that be?
Don't ever drink or do drugs.
Okay.
That's what I would tell them.
Okay.
Yeah, because we spend a lot of money on that. We could have been buying nice bikes or something.
Yes. That's the grown-up adult telling the 25-year-old, like, "Damn, oh my goodness." Yeah. What was that commercial in the 80s or the late 80s, early 90s? And it was the cocaine. It was like if you did a gram a day for a week, it was like, and it snorted up a TV, and then for a year, whole car in the house. I was like, if you don't understand it after that, like, there's no.
I like the one with your brain regular, and it shows a swimming pool, and then your brain on drugs, and the guy's getting ready to dive in the pool.
Right.
An empty pool.
That's too funny.
It's cool.
So, if money and time didn't matter, and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere, where would you go and who would you take with you?
I would go to California, and I'd take you with me because you're a mechanic.
I love it. Okay.
and,
I'm
and
down.
And yeah, you got to have the breakdown truck. I don't care. You got to have it. You know, I don't play that. I don't play that. No, you know, be on the side of the road. Just being enough tools in the saddle bag to get you going for parts. You know.
And if there's no hotel room, you need a place to sleep. It's dry.
Oh
There's no
yeah.
critter's gonna eat you. You can climb in the trailer. Right. Exactly. I'm
Right. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, that's where I would really like to go cross country one time.
okay.
Being a biker, I'm not a long distance rider, never have been. 2 hours is probably the max for me. And I never went across country. We went bar to bar, you know, we went
Right.
maybe another city to city to go to another bar. It's basically what we did, you know.
Can I
So
ask you a question then? Do you feel like sometimes when you look back on it and reflect, do you feel like you wasted a lot of time drinking bar to bar like that?
wasted a lot. Yeah, well, 10 years. Yeah. And then the blackouts. And then now my friends are all dead. We can't even remember the stories. You
Right.
know,
Right.
if I think on it, they'd probably be fictional, more fiction than I could remember, you know, because he was doing hallucinogens. He was doing all kinds of, a lot of whiskey was involved, you know, and different things. And it was a different time. And yeah, that's why I guess I would never change it because I wouldn't be me if I wasn't.
You know what I can see you doing, and I think it would be fabulous for you to do, and we need to find a way for you to do it because it's not grueling, but it gets the journey done and you're around a lot of like-minded people is you need to do the cannonball. You
That's what they've been telling me.
I was the mechanic for Chris Summer Simmons on the first Cannonball. It
Yeah.
was phenomenal. It's like the Sons of Speed, the camaraderie, all of it. But you would so enjoy that because like Steve Coe goes and there's like so many people, but it's it it's genuinely, you're not doing 500 miles a day. You're doing 2 and 300. Some days it's 100. You're stopping in hotels. There's a whole way along the way, and it's a
Good.
plotted out map by a certain time of day. Everybody needs to be accounted for. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's fabulous. So I think we need to figure out how to do. I can see you doing that, and I would be on your pit crew for that too. I definitely would. I think that would be perfect for you. I think you would so enjoy that with your personality because people what they do is they follow it all across the country, and random like regular citizen people will show up to see the Cannonball people. And I think with you
Right.
there,
They came by wheels through time. Yeah.
right. And then with your personality, I think you would just be an added benefit to it because I think people would be so intrigued by all the different kind of personalities, but I think they would
You think they'll let me ride the 2025 Road Glide and Harley would sponsor me?
No, no,
Well, I got to go in comfort.
we gotta get you a little vintage bike. We gotta get you a little vintage bike. Something.
I ain't riding that 45 Deliverance all the way out.
Well, I think it's like under a 1936. Has to be under a 36.
Jeez. I guess I'll be part of the pit crew.
That's funny. We'll work it out.
I'd love to try it, but I don't think I really qualify.
We're gonna get you across
I'll be
country
like,
at some point.
yeah,
We'll make it happen.
I'll ride in the truck and drink Purple Jesus. Let somebody be a designated driver.
That's right. That's
Wake
right.
up, Chuck, we're in Colorado.
That is so fabulous. So tell us something about yourself that most people don't know.
I don't know if most people know it or not much, but I in 2008 I was baptized and I'm a born again Christian, and a lot of people don't know that, and it's okay because God wants you to be who you are, and even with the alcohol and the name Purple Jesus, it's okay to be who you are, but to learn from, instead of screw others before they screw you, which was the biker code, to be kind to others and to work and live with others and be in harmony and have a positive way. And it's changed my life. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. You would not believe. If I get a chance, which I don't have hardly any old pictures of me biking or nothing much, but because we didn't have phones or cameras then at the time much,
Right.
you know. But it's a total turnaround. And then I got married when I was 31, and that didn't really change the biker attitude at all. So you know, till I found Jesus in my life, which I was raised up a Christian Ukrainian Christian, but I don't know. It's kind of like you put it to the side, and when you have a higher power working for you, you're never lost, you're never lonely, and it's one of the five great things that you talk about. And I was so happy that you had something like that that I could think about every day, you know. And look, I'm happy for my azaleas blooming. I'm happy for the sunshine, and look, all the leaves are coming back on the trees again. You know, stuff like that that you take granted for, every day. And
That's
to
right.
meet somebody like you and then to be on your show, that's a blessing and a half, you know?
Thank you. It's a
And,
blessing
and
to have you here too. I love that
yeah,
you
and,
have that energy about you. You just
well,
do, you know.
well, thank you.
So yeah, and then um that's a fabulous thing. And I think everybody should have their faith. No matter what it is, I
No
believe
matter what it
everybody should
is.
have their faith. That's
Yeah,
an important thing because what it does is for me, it reminds you, like you said, it reminds you that community is more important than self.
right.
Because when it comes down to it, together we are strong. Individually we're strong, but together we are resilient beyond belief. That you can see by just like you said with the hurricanes and the fires and how people come together in the communities. So for me,
Right.
that I always tell everybody that the world can make you miserable. I refuse to let them make me
No.
assimilate to that. No, not going to happen. So, and some days I'm tired looking because I had a little too much fun or I worked a little too hard or I was up too late. But I always do my best to put a positive foot forward, and I love that about you, and I love that that's your persona. And at Daytona, I didn't take you at the Sons of Speed as a grumpy old biker dude, but I'm used to hanging around them, so I don't know the difference. That's
Well,
so funny.
well, they moved my pits, and they wanted
Yeah,
me to be with them, and that was the first thing I wasn't happy about. And then the guys kind of like okay, let's have some fun, and they was all in their own little thing. Now who the hell goes to a fucking motorcycle race and ain't ready to fucking race? Oh, well, that pisses me off like all tomorrow. Hey,
gotta be ready.
you got to be ready to race when you go there. What
Yeah,
the hell? I
right.
know shit. I know shit happens, and I know test and tune, but these
Gotta be
guys were like,
prepared.
I'm like, that bike ain't fucking running right. Don't even put it on the track. And they look at me like, get the hell away from me. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. So when they ain't looking, I take their spark plug wires off, and they don't start. The bike won't start.
right. It's experience over bullshit. Tell them
Yeah.
experience, tell them my bullshit. Right,
But
exactly.
like you said, the camaraderie is so intense there. If you need a part, everybody wants to see you race and compete, and there's nothing. And then it comes down to skill onto the track, and it really takes a lot of skill to get around that New Smyrna Speedway.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I, like I tell everybody when I race New Smyrna, there's only two things stopping me from winning. That's fear and atmosphere, and I could get through one of them.
Right. Right. And that's the thing too, because you're on a track and I mean, I don't know how many people until I had been there, like it's concrete walls. You have no brakes. Like
Right.
you're there's a resistance to what's going on too. There's a lot of things fighting against you versus going with you. You know what I mean? And safety features. So
Exactly.
it's what do we used to say? Balls to the wall.
Balls to the
That's pretty
walls.
much what that is for sure. I'd have to say that. Yes.
Yes.
But I love it. And I love that everybody's okay. So I was on the phone this last time. There was an accident and I was on the phone with my husband and I'll never forget. I mean, immediate instant silence across the whole track. Like
Right.
everything, because there's so much noise, there's the
Right.
motorcycles going around, there's the crowd cheering, there's all these things that you don't pay attention to, and then the deadening silence was
Right.
eerie, and the first thing
Yeah.
was like, thank God everybody was okay,
Yeah. That was
but
brother Luke. Brother Luke from Hillbilly Mafia. Yes.
Billy
He
Mafia,
was. He was pitted right next to me. Yes. It
yeah.
was. It was. It was. Ooh,
But
yeah.
everybody ran to go see to make sure what could we do. The ambulance was there. And you know what else I really liked about the whole thing was like in the pits. Billy and his team and everybody that worked so hard to put it all together, Northern Tool, Darcy, everybody like that, the whole volunteer staff, everybody was fed, everybody was hydrated. It was right there. They had a platform for handicapped people in their wheelchairs that could sit up above and see that matters. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
that positive enlightenment. And then, Barbie and Mary and Amy and the girls all running around. That was fun too. They were a hoot. And Tom Banks, I love the way he was, because he was messed
Is
up.
he not the man or what? He plays that part just like 1950s.
I was like, oh
with
my
them
God.
knee-high socks and the New York, looks like he's in a New York Giants baseball uniform or something. He is so cool.
In the middle of, like you said, and then you can see certain people, like he waves the flag, he'll be closer, and then some of them he's way the hell away, like, yeah, okay, like don't come near me with that motorcycle. Pretty funny.
Yeah, he told me up there at 10 Jam, well, I didn't know when you won your heat race. I thought you got the checkered flag. He says, you're going to have to come back for this in the final. I said, well, I'll be back. You keep holding it. I'll be back to get it. And that was a big moment for me. That was a humbling moment right there. That's awesome. To win a race. And it just was so humbling to give the grace back to God and everybody. Yeah, they're like, oh my God, it's Crazy Chuck won a race.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's nice to be celebrated as much as you celebrate everyone else. That's the good kindred spirit.
And seeing that smile on Tom, he was the first person, I met, so they get the flag, and it's something I'll never forget. It was a great moment,
Yeah, and he's got an incredible museum.
I got to get up there and see it up in Pittsburgh. Yes. Right? Yeah. He's invited me several times. I just ain't made it.
I haven't been in either, so we'll have to make an arrangement so we could all just bust in on him, take a nice.
Hell yeah!
Like, hey, we're here, old biker style. Like, we're here. Break out the big container so we can burn out in the alleyways, and All right. So, lastly, I know you gave us a couple good things, but I would love for you to give us your 5 good things, all 5 of them.
All 5 good things that happened to me this week.
Yep. Or that just you're grateful for. Any 5 good things.
Well, I'm just grateful for being alive, and very grateful for. I have a couple of puppies, like I told you before, little dogs, and they kind of keep me happy, and they don't give me no lip, but they'll raise hell at me if they, if the food bowl ain't filled, know. So, I'm just grateful to be on this show, and I'm grateful for all the things that I do, and the things that I can help people with, and good things. I got a guy, Jeff McKinney. He's my crew chief, and he keeps me in prayer. And Barbie the welder and Nicole Templeton. It's something how the universe. You don't have to call it Christianity or anything. You can call it the universe brings people together to do good things. Yes. I'm very grateful for that. And now you're part of it. Gina's part of it. Tom Banks, everybody that's involved. Willie let me pick a bike at the Willie Chopper time. It's Crazy Chuck's pick, and they got a bottle of Purple Jesus, and little things like that. It just makes me so grateful and loving that I'm part of this community, and want to stay in it and have a good time and take it to the next level.
Yeah, we are truly blessed. We are around some of the most amazing human beings in the universe, for sure. Sometimes people don't take the time to get to know people because of the way they look, or they ride a motorcycle, or they don't fit their, category of what it is. But if some people could just experience the individuals we are absolutely blessed to be around, their life would be different, for sure. You got the high test going, I see.
Yeah, I had to have a little. My lips were getting dry.
I love it. Well, okay, so I just want to tell everybody out there, when you see Moonshiner Crazy Chuck, Chopper Chuck, in the good old days, going to be out there choppering around. When you see him at an event, make sure that you stop, say hello, share a smile, grab a bottle of Purple Jesus. Maybe he'll do a shot with you. You never know. Look for the girls. You're going to have girls at events.
Always.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. So look for the Purple Jesus brand. You can buy it in Total Wine and More. And where else can they get it?
That's about it, unless you see me on a show doing a meet and greet somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a place called the Booze Box on International Boulevard in Daytona.
Okay.
It's a package store that carries it, and the restaurant next to it is called Beaches, and it's a really cool place to hang out. And just a little package store, but my products in there. So we're rebuilding to get Florida back and get more places to go. I had a trouble with the distributorship, and now I got it, and we're going to Panama City and going to knock them down there. I just did Lucky You Wildwood, Florida. He did 18-year birthday party. We knocked the socks off him. He might, and this is how things work. He might be a sponsor. He might sponsor me for my next race, and
I love it.
that's a big deal, for me and stuff.
Yes.
And just getting back and yeah, Purple Jesus, it's around, but if you want the real stuff, come to North Carolina.
Love it. Definitely gonna come and see you for sure.
Yeah.
Been such a pleasure and an honor to have you here. I can't thank you enough for spreading your joy and your light here on the show with everybody. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. Sorry, I was so engrossed in our conversation that I wasn't paying attention to the comments. But
Yeah,
thank you, Miss Sheila, Rob, Becky, Gina, Rob Schwellinger, like everybody. Miss Boots, I love you. Dennis, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, Rob Dorr, and Truth of Lovely, a lot of them. Tracy Rhodes.
Yep, Teresa Lovett. That's fabulous. I'm so excited. And Charlie Ransom, did I just see that?
Is Charlie on there?
Oh my goodness, is that Charlie Ransom?
There's a comment. Big shout out to Charlie.
Oh my goodness. My dream, that's one of my dream guests right there. Charlie Ransom. I love that man so much. So maybe one day he'll grace me with his presence on this show. That would be phenomenal.
He's just right up the mountain from me. I see him a couple times a year.
I love it. That's another one.
Rob Swelly Belly's on there.
Yep, Swelly Belly's on there.
Oh, yep. That's my guy, right? That's my brother from another mother right there.
And that's what the motorcycles do. We're all so intertwined and interconnected. It's so awesome because all of them, they regularly tune into the show. So I love that. It's fabulous. It's just good, by the grace of God or the universe or however you want to put it out there. Yep, yeah. We're lucky for sure. All right, kiddo. I appreciate
Thank you much for having me on there, and hopefully we'll do it again, and we'll turn you on to some people. I hope my followers will follow you, and yours will follow me, and that's how marketing works and stuff. Yeah, networking.
Yeah, definitely, and I know for sure that we're going to enjoy each other's company a lot in the future. I look forward to it. If there's anything I can ever do to help, like I said, if you have flyers or something like that for events that you're doing, you want to send me to Panama City, I'll promote it on our events. And
okay, good.
I really did try to save some for a product review today. But look, you can see by the dark circles under my eyes, I tried to hide it. We had just a little too much Purple Jesus last night. I don't drink much, and I had to do it. I was like, you know what? I'm giving it a shot. Miss Tracy Rhodes, I see you out there.
Yeah.
She says, Norman Keller in Greenville, North Carolina, the parts guy. He passed.
I didn't know him, but yeah, my condolences to you. Yes.
That's too funny. Rob Swelly Belly. That's so funny. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, I will see
you. I want to hold you to maybe being my crew chief in May.
Yes.
I don't have one yet.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll be in. So I go.
You know how to set points?
Yeah, I write a show.
You know what points are?
I'm working on a panhead with a magneto right now, so yeah, I kind of get it for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
And I have a crazy husband too, who is a mechanical genius. So
that's what we need, genius.
Yeah. So if you want, I'll give you him anytime. That's not a problem. He loves that stuff. He loves the big show. That's his thing. I'm gonna be a cheerleader then. When he's on point, I'm the cheerleader. I get out my pom-poms. Or I hand him tools. I should refrain. I'm the nurse. He is the doctor. That's
right. Right.
Sure. Anytime you let us know for sure.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you.
Have a great evening. And you guys, everybody out there, you take care. And I will talk to you soon.
Bye-bye, y'all. See you later.
How about that? How fabulous. I am, again, I'm so in awe at how blessed my life is and how wonderful and incredible I am lucky to have it. So, again, we talked about all kinds of things on this show. What an incredible guest. I'm so lucky. Everybody has their own perspective and persona, and that's why I try to bring them here to you, because we need to share that in the world. I was asked a question this week about my direction in life, and I didn't know really how to answer that. So I'm going to put my afterthought up here, okay, because I had to reflect and look at it all. And I kind of think I have a perspective on it. There we go. So if you think back 20 years, are you where you thought you'd be? Myself, I can honestly say no. I had no inclination that I would be here. Actually, nowhere near what I imagined as a child, and way different from a future thought 2 decades back. After I considered it, I realized I've surpassed any idea of my future from days of old. I can honestly say that I grew into who I am, and there was no blueprint for that. So moving forward, I'll make it a goal to read the blueprint and enjoy the building process with no attempt to rewrite it. So for me, I realized reflecting that you have to let things take its own course. You have to allow, I guess some people say surrender to it all, release it, and be ready to receive whatever comes to you. That's in all aspects. Like Chuck was talking about, if you think about it and you think about it, you think about it and you go after it and you put the effort forward, but you do your best to be the best person that you can be while you're doing it, not taking advantage of people, not stepping on people, not being ruthless in any regard, um, minding your core values and keeping your integrity with who you are. That's the important part. And so, like, I was going to be an astronaut. Okay, well, girls couldn't be astronauts. Then by the time women were starting to be astronauts, I was already into motorcycles. We weren't going into space. We were flying around the pavement on the earth. So I learned about mechanics. I don't want to fall out of the sky. Who worked on that? I have a hard time flying. It's a thing. Anyways, um, then I was leaving on a road trip when I was 21, and I was going across country on my shovelhead. And my guy at the time told me, I'll be here when you get back. Have fun, go do your thing. And I went to get my 2-week notice at work, and I was nauseous because I was pregnant with my first child. Wouldn't change any of it. So that wasn't my plan in the scheme of where I was going, but that was the blueprint. I just wasn't reading it. I wasn't looking at it. I didn't see that it was the map of who I get to be in this world. And I'm grateful that at my age, I've learned to stop and look at the blueprint. And although it's nothing like, my kids are wonderful. And not that I wasn't planning on being a mom, I just was going on a cross country motorcycle trip first. I did get to go across country for the first time in the 90s from Fairbanks, Alaska to Key West, Florida. I'm grateful for that. I've ridden all over the country. I've done so many incredible things that weren't in the plan for me. I was working in a loft. So it's just a whole crazy thing. Oh, keep working on the book. Keep working on the book. But anyways, so just because you have a plan, you have to always remember to stay positive and see where the journey takes you, because there is a blueprint. Just sometimes we don't ever stop to look at it. And then when we do, we spend a lot of time doing our best to rewrite it. So maybe we can take a different perspective, stay positive, and keep on with the blueprint, see where it takes us, see what building we end up in because of all the wonderful engineering that comes from everything around. That was my hippie moment for today, hungover from Purple Jesus. I love you all so very much. Thank you to Chuck. Thank you to everybody who participates. Thank you to all the guests. And I hope you guys have a great week. We have a great guest again next week. I'll put the announcement out in, wow, I love you all so very much. Have a fabulous week. I love you. Chopper on. And if I can find the turn it off button, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. All right.